This is the biggest arrogant fraud on Twitch. His name is Jason Hall, also known as Pirate Software, or also goes by Thor. Now, context will be important for this because I'll be talking about how he even got in this situation in the first place. Now, this big dumbass Thor over here thought it was smart to fuck with the Stop Killing Games initiative.
Killing games. Stop killing games.
Stop killing games. Stop killing games.
An initiative created by Russ Scott, which is initially supposed to stop killing games after they've been sold or after they've been bought by the consumers and they stop providing the service, aka making sure that it runs on their private servers or whatever it may be. It's important to note that all of this happened all because he misinterpreted and misunderstood what the initiative was actually about.
For those who don't understand, the Stop Killing Games initiatives is basically, we don't want single-player games to have DRM that the developers can turn off and thus render the single-player games inactive anymore.
No!
This is what they want to change. It is vague. They need to be specific that they're talking about single-player games that do not need a server to support them.
What Thor doesn't understand is that in an idealistic and perfect scenario, the game should still be left in a functional state, which in some cases, if it shuts down, there's still a community server that can still provide access to allow consumers to still be able to interact with the game after it's been sunset. For example, WoW. If Blizzard goes under, WoW can still be playable because the community still has access to open source code. For example, look at something like Blender, which is open source, which allows the community to adjust the application, change it, modify it, allow you to do different things to it, add plugins, add tools, things like that. And in some cases, that can actually be way better because the community can then adapt everything to make sure that it fits the user's needs or player's needs or whoever is utilizing the application in this instance. However, this doesn't matter because then he goes on to continue to bash the Stop Killing Games initiative and discredit and insult Russ Scott, the creator of the initiative itself.
Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. That's awful, dude. Eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass.
He then went on a Twitter rampage talking about how he still disagrees with the initiative and he even doubled down on it. Why? Like, I don't understand this guy. He just will do anything but admit that he is wrong. It's also important to note that a literal psychiatrist thinks that he's a narcissistic prick.
I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase.
Sure.
This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro. Like, tell me I'm wrong.
Okay. I don't see it that way, but all right.
Oh, shocker. A guy that has narcissism doesn't see it from the same perspective as you. He likes to also mention that he's a game developer with 20 years of experience and has also worked at Blizzard for 7 years as a game developer.
I worked at Blizzard, so when I first started at Blizzard, I worked at Blizzard for 7 years.
Which just isn't true, and there's evidence proving that he's an actual fraud and that he isn't a game developer at all.
I went to Blizzard in 2004, and like, this is kind of my whole career, right? My first job, I got through nepotism, 100%. My dad worked at Blizzard for 23 years. He worked at Blizzard for 23 years, so I got a job there in 2004.
Except Pirate Software completely undervalues the fact that his father wasn't just a janitor at fucking Blizzard. He was the director of cinematics, and his father's name is Joey Ray Hall. And he was actually one of the members since its early startup, when Blizzard used to be called Silicon and Synapse. Not only that, but there's also further information supporting the fact that he's not even a game dev. There's not even evidence to support that he's a game developer or had any experience in game development. In fact, his programming is subpar, mentioned by people like Coding Jesus or anyone else. He also didn't even finish college and only studied entomology and specialized in ants, but then dropped out. So he didn't even study IT at college or even game development or programming or coding. He didn't do anything. The guy is a fraud. He also has this bad habit of chalking himself up to be this savant who's a pro hacker that can hack inside to the Pentagon and has otherworldly type skills and talents. He hacked into nuclear power plants for the government, which is an absolute crock of shit. And in reality, he's just a social engineer.
And then when I did that, I went to the United States Department of Energy and I hacked power plants for the federal government.
If you look at his LinkedIn and reconcile it against his skill set,
What he did was social engineering. He wrote phishing emails and tried to gain access to credentials and user systems that way.
It's also known that he has pretty much atrocious code knowledge when it comes to C+ programming, which is a language in programming and coding. And a lot of his code has sparked speculation on whether it's even good or not, saying that he just comes up with a lot of magic numbers.
You see a lot of magic numbers. That's an industry term for numbers that don't have any description or explanation as to what they are or why they exist. And you also have a lot of true or false, which is not descriptive at all.
And a lot of things just aren't necessary, and it's inefficient. Which is funny because he literally states that he has programming experience of at least 20 years in the game industry and also 7 years at Blizzard. However, his programming skills or coding skills is akin to that of someone that just learnt C+ a week ago, according to Coding Jesus at least.
The practices that he's employed so far are practices that I'd expect from somebody that watched Khan Academy for a week, not somebody that's been working on a project for 8 years, claims to, worked at Blizzard and been around game devs, or at some certain points claimed that he's a game dev. And so all this really culminates in the disconnect between who Thor plays himself up to be and then what he can produce. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that his GitHub is also totally empty. It's empty because he has nothing to show for his 20 years of experience.
Another thing he was caught lying about was about a game he's supposed to be developing, which is an indie-style game that's sort of like Undertale, but was supposed to come out in the year of 2018 and still isn't out. He's been developing the game for 7 years and has lied about having COVID for the last 2.5 years.
How long have you been working on this game? Was the coding a solo job? Yeah. Nobody else has touched the code base for Heartbound ever except for me. It's just me. I've been working on it for about 7 years, but I lost 2.5 years to COVID.
Where his stream statistics say otherwise. And if you look at his past, he's also garnered a reputation for being a complete toxic moron and belligerently insulting his viewers and fanbase for no apparent reason, even though most of the time he's wrong in those situations.
We have that kind of a mistake again. I'm disbanding the party. I'm gonna go run with other people because you guys cannot do that again. God damn it, guys. Just lost 4 hours of crafting materials. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Of course I'm going to be a little bit upset about that. God damn it, guys. So one of you, hold the ocular. Why? Now half the raid is dead. Oh, I swear to God, I'm going to go back in the video and find out who pulled that damn thing, kick him out of the raid. That is insane shit. You have to be better than that. And we just lost all of those materials.
It's blowing up again.
And still, after all of this, he still refuses to believe he's in the wrong, for whatever reason. This guy's the truest definition of a narcissist.
Fault there. I'm correct there for doing that. 100%. That is not on me. No. Sounds like he takes criticism well. You sound like you want to talk to me about it in the unban request. You're just shit-stirring. I'm just going to get rid of you.
And still, to this day, Pirate Software hasn't learned. The 20th of July, he's still going on about how he still has those 20 years of experience, and even now he slanders Coding Jesus' name. To the point where Coding Jesus actually test ran his game, and it showed up being 20 frames per second.
That code is running the collision check and the drawing the pixels 80,000 times. Less than 20 FPS.
He also then claimed that Coding Jesus is a grifter, and then, well, Coding Jesus exposed him, so is that.
Leads me to believe that he's doing this specifically for the ad revenue.
This is pretty rich coming from somebody that makes a living LARPing as a game dev on Twitch, collecting that sweet ad revenue.
He also then claimed and moved the goalpost and said that, oh, hang on a second, Heartbound can actually be ran on a smart fridge, which turned out to just not be true, and the fridge was just basically used as a controller, and he used a Raspberry Pi to do it. The second thing is that he supported his statement when he ran Death Stranding on a washing machine. I don't even know how this is even possible, but whatever. You learn something new every day. I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
The one that runs on a smart fridge? It runs at 60 FPS on a smart fridge.
We notice that the game is actually being run on a laptop and streamed to the fridge using a Raspberry Pi device. If we zoom in a little closer, you can see it says connecting to Heartbridge, which is the name of the laptop and the hotspot connection he set up. In this case, the screen simply acts as a controller. Everything is running on the laptop, and the actual output is just being streamed back to the smart fridge. To emphasize this, here's a video of a washing machine running Death Stranding. He even said that it could be run on Mac devices, when Mac support was discontinued over 5 years ago.
This guy's more narcissistic than a fucking ice cream being cold. I don't know how this guy can literally pull off being this arrogant, this narcissistic, this in his own fucking ass. I don't understand how this guy still doesn't give a shit and thinks he is the shit. He recently claimed as well that he apparently wished his father happy birthday when his father said no, he didn't do that. And he still tries to double down and just not say sorry.
But since you did, last month was my birthday and you missed it, you didn't call me. So
True. I sent
that
you a
is
text.
true. No, you did not.
Bullshit.
That was last year.
Did I send you one last year? Am I a shitty son? Oh, man. It was last... Wow. If it makes you feel any better, I didn't text you anything after that last happy birthday, so it's still the same one.
He's also taken advantage of smaller content creators by DMCA claiming them even though he doesn't have the right to. All because they just made fun of him in a fucking indie game. Maybe he really is a little cockroach. It's important to note that this video was created because Pirate Software Jason Hall thought this initiative was something that it wasn't, when in reality it's protecting a huge amount of consumers and video game players from ever getting into a situation where Ubisoft is taking advantage of video games like The Crew and saying that really you don't own your games even though the consumers paid for them. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and here, check out my other videos for even more. And also, I know your mum's watching, so don't forget to hit that sub button. Thank you very much, guys.